So, how's everybody on this uh, frigid, cold morning here in Utah? It's in the 20s out there. I did a COVID test the other day, and it was a saliva test, so it takes up to 48 hours on Monday afternoon. So I will have the results today. We'll see what's what. But I think it's just a combination of things, age, barometer change. Maybe I caught a flu or something because I don't have a lot of the symptomology that coincides with COVID. But it's good to be safe, because the people I work with and I'm around, and my new lovely housemate, who her and I are just getting along great. She's really something special. She's fantastic. But yeah, don't sound too excited about it. Well, it's early, so I'm kind of on my second small one of these. But I wanted to broach something that can never be forgotten in the annals rather, of my life. And a dear friend of mine named Rob, who ironically I met in 1984, which is a title to a George Orwell book, and it's also the title to a Van Halen song intro, and an ultimate album that had so many hit songs on it. But anyways, I don't think I've ever really shared with many people. I mean, it's nothing to boast about. But my first arrest when I was 17 years old, I had recently left home and was living in Maryland, among other places, and was just, trying to get my feet under me and gain my independence and figure out what I'm going to do for the next, hopefully, 60 years, 65 years or something for the rest of my life. And it got off to an auspicious beginning. I don't think I was probably on my own more than about a month or so, right? And I was hanging with a friend of mine who still lived at home. He was a year and a half older than me. He's a great guy. His name's Rob Slant. Anyways, we're out cruising around in his new Pontiac Sunbird, I think it was, and we're just kind of doing our thing. And we meet some girls like in the middle of the night, and somehow we lost track of following them or something. And Rob could probably pick it up where we were, what county we were in, but we lost visual on these girls, and we couldn't, carry on, and party or whatever. So, okay. So we come to this intersection where there's an apartment complex, and it was really, really early in the morning. I think it was a weekday, if I can remember right, with all the traffic patterns and stuff. It wasn't like a Saturday or a Sunday. Well, anyways, we see the street sign, right? And this is long, long, long before GPS or anything like that, right? You had road maps, or you just kind of, were on your own, or you stopped and asked for directions. So, yeah. So anyways, we come across this street sign, right? This intersection. And I will never forget the name of the street. It was called Edwards Way. Now, okay, so how does my first arrest correlate with my all-time favorite band, Van Halen? Well, this is exactly how it went down. So I, of course, was fatigued, as was Rob. Rob was a recent adult, and I was still a minor, but on the fringes of legal adulthood, to turn 18 soon. Well, anyways, in my slightly encompass mentis brain at 6:30 in the morning on a weekday, I decide that I'm going to steal this street sign, which I had stolen street signs when I was in high school. I'll give you an example. Like, I was dating a girl named Julie, so I would look at the county map book under J and see where there might be a Julie Court or a Julie Avenue or a Julie Circle or a Julie Way or whatever, and I would go and try to find this sign and evaluate its location and bring gloves and shimmy up the post and, snap this metal sign off or something, and then present it to her at school or whatever. Those unique gifts. Some give flowers, I give, city street signs. Well, we all have our way of, showing our appreciation and love for someone. So it's certainly a unique gift, like what's this official street sign? Oh, that's my boyfriend or my ex-boyfriend gave me that. Oh, wow, it's kind of eccentric. Well, anyways, this one was totally on me and totally for me. All right, and it was Edwards Way. All right, so I had this vision of stealing this street sign, and I was going to hang it on my wall, and wherever I was staying, above a picture of Eddie or something, and it would be Edwards Way, and he'd be like flying through the air, maybe something like that. Edwards Way with a sign above some picture like that. It would look cool, right? At 17, your feeble mind comes up with these little schemas. So, anyways, I have Rob go park his car somewhere, and Rob's exhausted, so he goes and parks somewhere out of visual, and I proceed to shimmy up this pole, and the sun's coming up, and activities brewing in the area. But I'm not deterred by that. No, I'm 17. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want, right? So I climb up, and I'm starting to try to, because it was like a cross section sign, if I remember right. There was like a bottom sign going this way, and then the top sign was going this way. So it was like at a crossroads, four-way intersection, or at least three. So I'm trying to break the top one off, right? And I'm starting to hang on this pole, and it's starting to bend, and the concrete in the ground or whatever held it was starting to give way, and the thing starts looking like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. But I'm relentless on trying to break this thing loose. Meanwhile, people are driving by looking up at me like, is this guy off his meds? I mean, what the fuck is he doing? But back then, no cell phones, no camera phones, no cameras at intersections like we have, today by the lights and themselves, street lights. No. So it's basically, if you can just get it and get out of there, you're on your own. Well, anyways, I'm making some progress, and things starting to bend, and the post is starting to lean, and I'm thinking I'm just probably a minute or two from breaking this thing loose or getting it off and finding Rob and having a big laugh and get the hell out and go burn another joint or something, right? Mm-hmm. Well, whatever county it was, a couple cops show up from different directions and swarm on me, and this female cop gets out of the car. And I remember I'm literally dangling from this street sign. And she looks up at me and she goes, "Excuse me, what do you think you're doing?" I said, "Oh, I don't know. I'm just hanging around." She's kind of waned a smile, like, "Get down." So anyways, they detain me. They ask me how I got there. They do the background, the ID check and stuff. So I said, I'm with my friend Rob. "Oh, where's he?" "Oh, he's probably over the hill park sleeping." So they find him. And he's like, "Yeah, he's a friend of mine. What's going on?" Oh, so the next thing you know, he's being detained, and I think ultimately arrested as a co-conspirator to this. Now, he's an adult. I'm still a minor. So I think he got hit with like a corruption of minor charge, even though he wasn't assisting me in the task of absconding the street sign. Well, anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. I remember I'm chained to the desk of this detective or this police officer. By this point, I'm really tired, got a headache, because I think we'd been drinking the night before too. It's probably late morning. Rob was someplace else because he was over 18. And this detective asked me plain and simple, "Okay, look, I'm going to ask you the details, and, if you'd like to share with me what, ignited you to do something like this. It seems kind of ridiculous. We've looked into your past. You have nothing, even as a juvenile. What was why were you so impulsive to do this?" And I told him, I said, "Well, I'm a huge Van Halen fan, right? And I saw this Edwards Way, Eddie Van Halen, Edward Van Halen. And I thought, if I tore that off, man, and I could hang it over this wall, this poster I have in this makeshift apartment where I'm kind of like renting a room and sharing it with this other guy, and blah, 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 blah." And this detective was just looking at me, if I remember right, just with the tip of the pen in his mouth, like, "This guy's fucking crazy." But I was saying it with a sound mind, or as sound as it could be, and with a straight face, because at that point, and why lie to the cops? What's done is done. And he goes, "So you want me to put in the report that you stole a street sign at this intersection because it inspired you to put it with a Van Halen picture or poster on your wall where you currently live in Gaithersburg?" "Yeah." "And that's what you want the report to say if this goes to court?" "Yeah." So anyways, to wrap it up, I went to court, Rob faced his little charge. I think he got over it. I know his parents didn't like me for a while, but I think the following year all fences were mended. And it was kind of a stupid thing. But it just dates back, again, to how much Van Halen meant to me. And I wasn't trying to hurt anybody, obviously. I just thought it would be kind of creative to do it. And I'd stolen street signs before and was always successful. I don't think I was coming down from some weird buzz as the sun was rising in a busy intersection. So that was my stupidity. But I just thought I would share this because it really was kind of funny. And I think the funniest thing was just the detective or the officer, whatever, taking the story. Like, really, this is what you want in the report? Oh, yeah. It was my whole MO to do it. My modus of operandi, this was it. Okay. So I think what happened ultimately was I had a one count misdemeanor of destruction of private property or public property or whatever, and I had to make restitution, and I did. And there wasn't any probation or anything to it. No, just they were telling me, hey, leave our street signs alone and stay in your county, stay in your lane, But I just thought I'd share that this morning. And, looking at some old magazines and stuff, always kind of makes me, feel good. When I get a little down, I always like to surround myself with those things that bring me joy, whatever it is, And it's been a little over 5 weeks now. I miss him. I miss him a lot. But I'm just reminded through all these tributes and everything how much he meant to people, and the indelible impression and the permanent mark he made in music and as a person, and how many hundreds of thousands of people he made happy and inspired future musicians. You talk to any musician, any guitar player today in the public genre and popular music, no matter how heavy the music is, somewhere in that list of people that inspired that man or woman to play said instrument, you're going to see the name Eddie Van Halen. It's just how it is. But I just thought I'd share that weird story. So the very first time, I was ever in trouble with the law, I was just short of 18, and it was because I was stealing a street sign that said Edwards Way. The love runs deep. So does the insanity, apparently. But I didn't steal any more street signs, or at least anything I'm willing to admit to on tape. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.